Behind the polished PR smiles and corporate handshakes, a storm is brewing inside the walls of Aston Martin's 2026 Formula One project. Honda, the powerhouse preparing to re-enter the grid as a full works partner with Aston Martin in 2026, is reportedly growing restless. At the heart of their concerns, Lawrence Stroll. According to multiple insider whispers, Honda has expressed frustration over the Canadian driver's continued presence in the team despite consistent underperformance. The message from Tokyo isn't subtle anymore. If Lawrence Stroll doesn't remove his son from the second seat, Honda may reconsider timelines for critical engine development and integration. This wouldn't be the first time an engine manufacturer flexed its influence over a team's driver lineup, but rarely has it been this politically delicate. While Honda craves wins, podiums, and prestige to reassert itself in F1, Lance's inconsistent pace and lack of qualifying firepower have been glaring weak spots in Aston Martin's otherwise ambitious campaign. This growing pressure places Lawrence Stroll in a uniquely volatile position, one that blurs the line between businessman and father. Lawrence Stroll built his empire on calculated risks and ruthless business instincts, but removing his own son from the team he controls might be the biggest emotional and reputational gamble of his career. If Lawrence finally pulls the trigger and replaces Lance in response to mounting pressure from Honda, media scrutiny, and internal dissatisfaction, the move could be viewed through two vastly different lenses. On one hand, it would demonstrate a newfound maturity and willingness to separate personal attachment from professional ambition. Investors, engineers, and sponsors might welcome the shift as a sign that Aston Martin is ready to prioritize winning over legacy building. But on the other hand, it would leave a lingering question about why it took so long. Critics would point out that Lance had multiple seasons to prove himself and squandered the team's momentum at crucial stages. For Lawrence, the optics are delicate. Worse still, if the replacement driver doesn't immediately deliver results, Lawrence's decision could be interpreted as both cold and misguided. Complicating the scenario even further is the depth of Honda's investment and expectations. When the Japanese giant chose Aston Martin as its exclusive works partner for 2026 and beyond, it was more than just a technical alliance. It was a statement of intent. After a wildly successful run with Red Bull that included championship-winning machinery, Honda shocked many by choosing to exit, only to boomerang back into the sport. But their return wasn't about nostalgia. It was about power, presence, and prestige. Aston Martin offered a tantalizing package, state-of-the-art facilities, a motivated ownership, and the allure of becoming the next F1 giant. Honda sees Aston Martin as the perfect canvas to showcase its hybrid expertise in the new 2026 regulations era, where electrical power and sustainable fuels will dominate the headlines. But make no mistake, this isn't a passive partnership. Honda wants control, say in driver selection, chassis development coordination, and brand integration. The Japanese manufacturer doesn't want to play second fiddle again. This time, it wants to lead the dance. Their engine program is already deep in dyno testing, and integration talks with Aston Martin's aerodynamic department are underway. But the true test of the partnership lies not just in horsepower or efficiency, it's in culture. Honda is famously meticulous, even conservative. As the team grapples with internal friction and a looming power shift, whispers of Horner eyeing a return through Aston Martin are growing louder. Ever since his dramatic fall from grace and eventual exit from Red Bull, speculation has swirled over his next move. Some sources claim he's had exploratory talks with Aston Martin's leadership, while others suggest he's looking for a stake in the team, not just a job title. It's not far-fetched. Aston Martin is backed by deep pockets, has secured Honda engines for 2026, and is actively building infrastructure to match the elite. But what it lacks is experience at the highest political and strategic levels of F1, a gap Horner fits perfectly. The idea of Horner taking partial ownership or a major managerial role is tantalizing to fans and terrifying to rivals. With Horner's proven ability to extract performance from teams, engineers, and drivers alike, his presence could transform Aston Martin from promising upstart to ruthless contender. But there's a catch. Horner comes with baggage. His Red Bull exit was messy, polarizing, and still fresh in many minds. If Lawrence Stroll makes space for him, either in management or through equity, it would signal a massive power shift within the team. All this plays out as the team limps through a disappointing 2025 season. After a promising 2023 and a solid, if unspectacular, 2024, the Silverstone-based squad has hit a performance wall. Their AMR 25 car, plagued by inconsistent tyre management, an unstable rear, and sluggish straight-line speed, has been unable to challenge the likes of McLaren McLaren, Mercedes, or even the resurgent Williams team. What's worse, the team appears directionless. Despite heavy investment, a new wind tunnel and a driver lineup meant to blend experience and aggression, results haven't followed. Fernando Alonso, now clearly frustrated, has delivered occasional brilliance, but even he has been unable to mask the car's limitations. Lawrence Stroll, meanwhile, continues to underperform and compound the team's strategic headaches. Technical staff turnover and rumours of internal friction between the chassis and aero departments have only made things worse. The looming arrival of Honda in 2026 has also created tension, with some engineers seemingly more focused on long-term development than fixing the present. Sponsors are reportedly asking tough questions, and morale within the garage is dipping. There's also been increased scrutiny from the F1 media, which once praised Aston Martin's rise, but now questions whether the team overpromised and underdelivered. That credibility took another twist when Adrian Newey officially joined the project. The man credited with designing some of F1's most dominant machines, from Williams to Red Bull, had signed a long-term deal to shape Aston Martin's 2026 Challenger, but that excitement quickly turned to confusion when it emerged that Newey had no intention of influencing the AMR25 car. Despite Aston Martin's struggles this season and urgent pleas from within, Newey has remained unmoved. His focus, he insists, is the 2026 car. For Newey, it's all about clean slates. He thrives in rule change eras, not patchwork fixes. According to insiders, he turned down repeated requests to review the current chassis, stating it would be a distraction from foundational work needed for 2026's ground-up design. This has sparked some tension internally. While some staff respect his singular vision, others feel abandoned during a critical phase where every tenth matters. Alonso, known for his political savviness, is reportedly frustrated that the team's technical superstar isn't contributing to solving 2025's woes. But Newey's bet is clear. The 2026 regulations, with their emphasis on active aero and engine integration, are where he believes Aston Martin can leapfrog rivals. Fixing AMR25 wouldn't make them title contenders, and caught in the middle of all this turmoil is Lawrence Stroll. His Formula One career has always walked a fine line between privilege and performance, but 2025 might be the year that balance finally tips. With Aston Martin's on-track struggles now impossible to ignore, and external pressures mounting from both Honda and the media, Lance finds himself in the most precarious position of his F1 life. His results simply haven't justified his seat, and in a sport where fractions matter, team bosses and manufacturers are growing impatient. If Honda's rumoured ultimatum is true, Stroll could become the scapegoat. The first major change in a team desperately seeking answers. And it wouldn't just be about making room for a faster driver. Replacing Lance would be a public admission from his father. That sentiment can no longer outweigh competitiveness. For Lance, that cuts deep. Not only would he lose his seat, but he'd also lose the narrative that he belonged on merit. Even if he transitions to a reserve role or lands a drive at a smaller team, the perception damage could be irreversible. His future in F1 may come down to what Aston Martin values more: familial loyalty or championship ambition. Will Honda's arrival transform Aston Martin into a championship juggernaut, or will it tear the team apart before the 2026 season even begins? This could be the dawn of a new F1 dynasty, or the start of a spectacular meltdown. So, what do you think? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, goodbye for now.